Artist Way Part 2 update. Excuse me, I have a mint in my mouth. We went up to get the camera to film, saw some mints, grabbed them, and Ola and I have both been like eating sweets. I should finish this and then film the update, but I'm not going to do that. I just wanted to quickly come on and say that I'm on week 7 of the Artist's Way. And we've been working on one of the tasks, which is a collage. Collect a stack of at least 10 magazines, which you will allow yourself to freely dismember. Setting a 20-minute time limit for yourself. Tear literally through the magazines, collecting any images that reflect your life or interests. Think of this collage as a form of pictorial autobiography. Include your past, present, future, and your dreams. It's okay to include images you simply like. Keep pulling until you have a good stack of images, at least 20. Now take a sheet of newspaper, a stapler, or some tape or glue, and arrange your images in a way that pleases you. This is one of my students' favourite exercises. So, Ola and I have gone through some magazines we had in the house, and together we have pulled out images that connect with me, and Ola's helped.
And we might have got a bit too crazy with it. This full table is full with all the bits that we got.
I'm not sure if I've really done this as an autobiography of my life in pictures, but these are definitely things that
you like.
Yes, that I like, that speak to me, that make me feel happy.
It's a chicken.
And again, I feel like this exercise was meant to be done on your own, but my life doesn't work like that. And if I'm doing something fun, Ola will get involved, right?
Yeah!
Okay,
Da, da, da.
So I think now we'll start arranging and I might show you the finished result. Okay, I think we are done. So I have made 2 pages of collages in my commonplace book.
This one's very cute.
You like that one? Mm-hmm. We had so many images to choose from, so I just picked the ones that I vibed with the most.
And I had cracker and cheese.
And then Ola made herself some cheese and crackers because you needed to up your energy partway through. Mm-hmm. This was quite a fun tactile thing to do. I like tearing the pages. And I guess I like that this was like my more earthy tone page. And it's got books on and baking.
And this one's purple.
And this one's like very soft and maybe perhaps feminine and girly, a little bit of autumn in there. But I like how earthy this one is. So it's got like gardening, baking, a child,
fire,
books. That was a fun activity to do, and I think now I'm going to tie this away, and Ola might make a collage for herself.
Yeah!
Ola has decided to make a collage now, and I feel like things have got just a little bit out of hand.
Nope.
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 You found lots of images that you liked.
Yeah. This one's my favourite.
Which one's your favourite?
This one.
This one?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, a little waterfall. So this one is Ola's favourite, a waterfall.
It's the cutest.
There you go. So yeah, Ola's going to start making maybe a couple of collages.
I'm going to use all the paper.
It is Sunday the 7th of September. I have now got to the end of week 10 of The Artist's Way, but I have fallen off the bandwagon a bit with it. I haven't kept up with doing the morning pages, nor have I had an artist day in weeks now. Those are 2 things that I am struggling to fit in with all my other responsibilities and things that I want to do. I think with the morning pages, for a while in the morning, I was getting up at 6 and either going for a run, doing the morning pages, or doing a longer time of Bible devotions. And those 3 things were all kind of really good for me, but it also meant like my mornings were kind of starting with a bit of pressure to wake up and get straight into, I don't know, kind of serious mode, either like serious exercise, serious God time, or serious kind of thoughts and reflections time. And it just made me start the day feeling a bit kind of on edge, or just like not having time to kind of acclimatise to the day or come to. So I've kind of pressed pause a bit, and I'm actually like, I've kind of gone back to waking up in the morning, reading a chapter of the Bible on my phone, and then scrolling social media for 20 minutes until I feel awake, and then getting up and getting ready for work. And even though on paper that sounds like not a healthy way to start the day, it just means like I'm getting a bit more of, I don't know, acclimatizing time before I get up and have to do stuff or think about serious heavy things and then get ready for work. And if I had a bedroom to myself, I would probably wake up and read a bit more for pleasure in that first hour, but I don't really want to wake Rob up by turning lights on and things, which is why I'm reading my phone. I guess I could read ebooks, but I've never quite got on with ebooks. So yeah, that's something that's fallen by the wayside, and maybe I can pick it up again and just not do it in the morning, but still do reflective journaling, maybe in the afternoon or in the evening, where I feel a bit more ready to take that on, which is against the rules of the book, but might fit in better with how my life is. And then with the artist date, again, it's a tricky thing just to fit in my life in the last couple of weeks. If I have a 2-hour window where I don't have to be doing anything in particular, the things I want to do most are kind of in the house. You know, like relaxing, reading, having some unwinding time. We've just been busy. We've just had a lot of commitments the last couple of weeks, so maybe that's something that I can pick up again. It might more realistically be something I do once every fortnight, or maybe even once a month rather than every week. And maybe I need to just accept that that's okay. I might not be able to do everything exactly how the book says, but surely I can adapt it to work within the parameters of how my life actually is as a mum and somebody who's working and somebody who has commitments to their church, which I love. I think that's the thing. All the things I'm doing that are busy, that fill up my time, they're there because they're important to me. They're not stuff that I resent or want to get rid of. And that's why I've not been willing to sacrifice them to make room for an artist date. And again, reading through the last 3 or 4 weeks, it's probably taken me 2 weeks to read each chapter rather than 1 week. And I've done some of the exercises for them. And again, there's still been some good stuff in here. So week 8 was about recovering a sense of strength. And honestly, this was kind of about recovering when you've had a big setback in your artistic life, either rejection or a failed project, or when you've kind of self-sabotaged yourself. It was a chapter about how you recover from that and move on. So that was really interesting and I think helpful. Week 9 was recovering a sense of compassion. And again, that was kind of about identifying how sometimes in your artistic life, some of the things you do, like procrastinating and putting off stuff and not seizing opportunities, we punish ourselves and call it like laziness or, you know, a lack of commitment. And when often what it really is about is fear. You fear failure, you fear rejection, you fear success. So sometimes you don't push through with things. And again, an interesting concept.
Or you just like don't want to do them, but you're just forced to.
Or maybe you don't want to do them, but you're just forced to. And then the last chapter.
Okay, homework.
And then the last chapter I read was about recovering a sense of self-protection. And a huge part of this was about not giving in to being a workaholic. So using work as an excuse or a reason not to engage in your artistic life, which I guess it sounds like exactly what I've just been doing by not doing my morning pages or doing an artist date, like using other commitments as an excuse not to engage with my artistic side. It feels now as I'm filming this update, I'm kind of saying like, I'm giving up or this project isn't working for me. But that's actually not how I feel, because despite me not doing morning pages or doing an artist date, I've been writing more this last couple of weeks. So I've started revisiting a novel draft that I wrote 2 years ago, and I'm coming back to it now for the second draft, and I've been revisiting it. And although I can see, I don't know where it would end up fitting in the current climate of novels that are out there, I myself, I'm really enjoying going back into this story, and I'm quite proud of what I wrote first time through, and I'm enjoying going back and tweaking it, and I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I think the biggest thing that so far this process has taught me is to listen to myself, to my instincts, to my voice, and to have fun with my creativity. And the biggest thing of all is to not see my creative life as a box that is separate to my spiritual life, which I definitely think I have done in the past. I've always preached and taught others to see them as connected, and yet when it's come to my own writing, sometimes it's felt like my writing is a guilty pleasure, taking me away from more important responsibilities. And now, as I'm revisiting my writing work and asking God to, help me more directly in it, it feels like my writing is becoming an expression of my faith and an exploration of the things I learn with God. And that's really exciting too. So I guess I'm finding my own path within the artist's way, and that's quite interesting. So today is Saturday the 11th of October, and I'm finally coming on to film my wrap up of completing the artist's way. I finished week 12 a couple of weeks ago, but I've just taken a little bit of time to digest what I've read before filming my conclusion. I would say that week 12 was a wrap up of the book's theories as a whole, and it was a really good, inspiring chapter to end on. It kind of reaffirmed a lot of the things that it talked about earlier in the book, and it kind of left you with a very accepting and nurturing encouragement to continue on learning more about your artist child and to continue creating with all the tools that this book has given you. So here's like my summary of this journey as a whole. I was not very consistent at all with doing the morning pages or the artist dates. They both petered out fairly quickly. The artist dates, just because scheduling it kept falling to the bottom of my to-do list, and the morning pages kind of because I didn't necessarily find it more effective than my normal journaling practices. However, I have started writing more. I think reading about writing and reading about the creative process and reading about other people's projects, even that alone was enough encouragement to get writing again. So I'm revisiting a novel draft I did a couple of years ago, and I'm giving it a second edit. And even though there's a lot of work to do on that, I've so enjoyed going back into this world I created and re-meeting some characters that I made quite a long time ago. And it's just been a while since I spent some time with them. And I don't know where this project will end up, but I'm really enjoying it. And I think one of the key phrases from this book that has been really helpful to me is that I'm in charge of the quantity of what I produce. My creator is in charge of the quality. And whether you believe in God or not, letting go of having things perfect before I can enjoy them and enjoy making them is a huge encouragement to get me going, to get me writing. So I have enjoyed writing again and kind of letting go of like, it doesn't have to be perfect, it just has to exist, and then we can perfect and play with it later. So yeah, I am writing again, and that was my main aim for starting out on this. Was I felt like my creative life had fallen down in the priorities of my life to-do list, and now it has climbed back up there, and I'm really grateful for that. I think the second thing that this book has really helped me with was to marry the worlds of my faith and my creativity, because sometimes writing my fiction and my fantasy and my folklore stories seemed like an indulgent hobby compared to my calling at church, my responsibilities at church and my Christian walk. And actually now I see those things as more joined together. I see that me writing and exploring themes and ideas complements my church life and doesn't detract from it. And equally, because the Artist's Way talks about creativity with such a broad spectrum of applications, I've realised that actually in my church service, I am very creative, and I use creativity a lot in how I teach children, in how I put messages together, in how we plan events. And I'm realising more and more that that connection between faith and creativity is very strong and powerful and isn't in conflict with one another, which I think is something I kind of knew in theory, but the Artist's Way, by incorporating prayer, journaling and journaling into one thing, has helped me understand that at a deeper level and apply that more in my life. So I'm really grateful for that too. I think this book, like week by week, it tackles different problems an artist might have in getting on with their creative work, and some of those I related to a lot and some of them I didn't. I'm glad that they presented a whole host of subjects on here that you might come across as you're trying to be creative, what might stop you. And I think when they hit for you, it hit really hard. But there's one in here about crazy makers, and that I connected to that a lot. The idea that there's people in your sphere of connections who seem to create a lot of drama, and when there's a lot of drama going on, it seems to be your fault or your responsibility to fix it, and how that can sap you of your own energy and strategies for handling that relationship dynamic. I found that very helpful. I think one thing that was a thing on my part was early on I engaged a lot more with the morning pages, with the artist dates, and with activities and exercise in this that were more physical and connected to your senses, like actually going and doing things. And in the later weeks, I just kind of focused on the reflective ones. And actually, I think the doing activities, the going on a walk, the putting a collage together, that actually did help me a lot kind of reconnect to my writing. So one thing that I think I'm going to do going forward is I'm going to close this for now and return to the Artist Way workbook, which I started with and then just left it because I found it easy to do the journaling exercises in different notebooks. But now that I'm not on a time frame, I think I'm going to go back and start working my way slowly through the workbook and do more of those exercises that were more fun activities to do and not just reflective ones, because sometimes the silliness or the sensory activities, it just gets you thinking in new ways. And even though you feel a bit foolish doing them, I found them really helpful and fun to do. So I would like to go back and visit some of the ones I skipped over. I think the most helpful exercise I did throughout all of it was perhaps the reading deprivation one, where I spent nearly a week without reading, and I had to become more comfortable in my own head with my own thoughts and my own ideas. And it was also during that week that I kind of started listening to music more and having little boogies in the kitchen. Got a whole bunch of new playlists to enjoy, and that activity kind of sparked that. So yeah, that was a really worthwhile one to do. Oh yeah, and one more thing I need to say is that even though I dropped off with the morning pages, a few weeks ago got a round of bad news from a few different areas, felt quite down, was overthinking things in my head. And so I got up early and I did my morning pages again, and instantly that combination of focused journaling / prayer / first thing free form writing, it cleared my head so quickly and helped calm some repetitive negative thought cycles in my head brilliantly. And it allowed me to connect and engage more in prayer and receive some comfort and receive some encouragement and some wisdom. So even though I don't see myself doing morning pages as a daily habit, I think it is something I will incorporate into my journaling spectrum. I journal in lots of different ways, and I think morning pages will be one of the ways that I continue to journal, but not every day. So to wrap up, I would say, yes, this was definitely a thing worth doing. It achieved the goal for me of reconnecting to my creativity. It's got me writing again. It's given me some handy tools. And I think I will revisit the exercises and do more with them. And I would also like to do more artist dates in my life. The ones I did, even though there were only a couple, were really fun, and I should make more room to do them. Maybe not every week, but maybe once a month. A once a month artist date would be better than no artist dates. So yeah, I would recommend giving this a go and not beat yourself up too much if you can't follow exactly what it says, but engage with it as much as you feel comfortable with, and there's still some beneficial things that might happen for you and your creativity. If you've watched this far, thank you so much for watching. I hope you've found this video enjoyable and helpful, and we'll see you next time. Bye.